Hey guys, recently, let's see when, 2 days ago, Daniel Bishop posted a comment on his community section on his channel, Daniel Bishop 9147. And I hope he doesn't mind. I don't think he will. I'd like to run through the list. If you do mind, Daniel, just let me know and I'll delete it, whatever. But I don't think you will. He posted a list of things that he says that Christopher Watt's extended family members don't want you to remember. So I'm just going to run through the list and just tell you my opinion. Okay, let's take a look at the list. It starts off with a lot of stuff about NK, and actually I'm going to skip over the NK stuff because all the NK stuff was already, disproven in 2018. So I'm going to go ahead and scroll down, let's see. Like this one, NK Googled Shanann in 2017, all of those. No kidding, in 2018, all of the points made here were like basically discarded. So let's get down to the other part. Here's one. During Chris Watt's interrogation, he said, quote, "She was not supposed to be there." And then Daniel Bishop asks the question, who is he speaking of? NK? Shanann? NA? I think there might be a few more names on that list, Daniel. Just saying. Here's another one. Daniel asks, who was the strange, small gray truck that was seen in the neighborhood? By a neighbor who has lived there for a while and pretty much knows everybody's comings and goings. Here's a good one. Daniel asks, why did neighbor Nate get so quickly involved? He knew immediately what timestamps to go to, and he knew all the angles. I can't do that with my security system off the fly. I think this comment is very interesting because I think it is very suspicious that neighbor Nate was involved at all. And remember, when the police officer, the window well jumping police officer that looks like that Chips guy, Eric Estrada, when he was there, neighbor Nate was right on his back deck or whatever. He was flying around the house trying to get the guy's attention, right? Because he wanted to tell him that Shanann had diabetes. Okay, how the hell did neighbor Nate know anything at all about Shannon's health? Especially the diabetes, considering that she was just diagnosed that weekend by her MLM friends, right? Here's another one. Why would Chris Watts risk bringing NK to his house in July, knowing that Nate or other neighbors would find out? Well, I personally think, why would he risk bringing NK to the house when it was probably pretty much in his mind that he was being watched? Have you ever seen a house with all those little cameras and monitors and, come on, really? I'll tell you why he would risk bringing NK to the house. Because, in my opinion, that marriage was over long before. In my opinion, they were separating and getting divorced. In my opinion, Shanann Watts knew damn well the marriage was over long before. Her father chaperoned her with the children on the flight from Colorado to North Carolina for her to spend 6 weeks over the summer away from Christopher Watts. Do you think maybe the marriage was already over in March when she was peppering a lawyer with questions about divorce? Do you think that maybe the marriage was already long over in early July when she was telling the hairdresser that she was getting divorced and looking forward to it? What's with all the crap that she was blindsided by the affair? I don't think it was an affair at all. I don't think she was blindsided either. I think Christopher Watts wanted out of that hellhole for years. Just saying, that marriage was over. Maybe it was over already when Shanann Watts stopped making the house payments in December of 2017. Daniel Bishop asks, why did neighbor Nate state that they screamed and argued, but then retract his statement to the media and to the police? Does he really know who was arguing? Was anybody really arguing at all? That's my question that I just tagged on after Daniel Bishop's questions. What did he say later? That he exaggerated or something to that effect? I wonder who told him to say those things. Here's a good question. Why did the garage door open after Chris Watts was already at work? For those of you who want to whine, bitch, and complain that anybody who asks this question must be a member of the Chris Watts fan club, no, not at all. We're just members of the club of people who appreciate the truth. Here's another question posed by Daniel Bishop. Who else thinks it's strange that N.A.'s son found Shannon's phone upstairs tucked away in the couch? Come on. It's a big house with all sorts of hiding places. Why did he immediately go to that couch upstairs? Well, Daniel asks, who else thinks it's strange? I think all of us do, Daniel. Seriously, all of us do. Any of us, anyway, who are actually discussing the case. And then he says, which leads me to this. Why was N.A. panicking that day? I think that's the million-dollar question of this case. I don't know of anybody who would be checking on a friend who they had just dropped off hours before and then going into a full-blown panic when she didn't see any text messages or any phone calls coming through. Was she really supposed to be there to take the girls to daycare? Was she really supposed to be there to keep an eye on Shanann during the day? We don't know, do we? And we've been told we'll never know the truth, right? Because we've been told they don't tell people like us. Interesting. Daniel asks, why did N.A.'s underage son go back and forth between houses, and what was he doing when everyone wasn't looking? He asks, was it me, or was N.A. not really looking, but standing around while others looked? Daniel asks, who was the woman, not identified, that called the kids' school that morning to see if the kids were there? Some say Sandy, some say NK, but who was it, really? Here's a good question. Why is it that Ronnie, Christopher Watts' father, was the only one to show up in Colorado? And then he says, correct me if I'm wrong, but if your daughter is missing and your grandbabies are missing, wouldn't you be on the first plane out? That's an interesting question, but I'll refer back to one of my videos when I was asking, why is it that we're not seeing airport footage? And I'm not talking about the airport in Arizona, and I'm not even talking about the airport in Colorado. Daniel Bishop asks, why didn't the police immediately lock down the house? Good question. Ooh, the next one, Daniel Bishop says that Christopher Watts' extended family member lied. He said, yes, he lied. He stated in court during Chris Watts' sentencing that he saw Chris Watts carry the bodies like trash. There's a video somewhere, right? I'm quoting Daniel Bishop here. And he goes on to say, but Armchair Detective proved those words wrong because he made the infamous shadow videos. And in the videos, it clearly shows children walking and being picked up. And then he said, because of the shadow videos, the detectives went to Wisconsin and Chris admitted that the kids were alive. Just my opinion, I don't think they went to Wisconsin because of the shadow videos. I think they went to Wisconsin because of the videos on the channel called Set the Record Straight. You know, the one about the toilet. Daniel Bishop says, so in the shadow videos, who else does it show? And then he goes on about NK, which, like I said, that's all been debunked already back in 2018. The next one says that Christopher Watts' extended family members received a lot of money, a ton of money, from not only their home state, but also from Colorado, the Victim Crime Fund, etc. Not to mention how much money they received from Anadarko, the private landowner of the survey unit, the life insurance policies. Daniel Bishop says that totaled over $450,000. I think it totaled a hell of a lot more than that. The multiple GFM and PayPal donations, the Lifetime, Discovery, Dr. Phil, Netflix, book promotions, and merchandise. When we look at all of this as a whole, we can understand why they want certain channels quiet. After all, the shadow video is the one that prompted the detectives to go to Wisconsin. Again, I don't think it had anything to do with any shadow videos. I think it had everything to do with Set the Record Straight's channel posting one video after another that all just seemed to make perfect sense. You know, the one about the security cameras, and especially the one about the toilet. Daniel Bishop says that the extended family members of Christopher Watts have been on channels that have bashed Shanann and have said maybe she deserved it. Now that would puzzle a lot of people, but not I, because I have seen this before. Controversy creates cash. As long as they are seen as victims, then they can use it to their advantage. He continues, that's why one of Christopher Watts' extended family members threatens everyone with court day after day, year after year, yet here we are, waiting. In the meantime, we as a community have over 3,000 screenshots of that specific extended family member provoking harassment, making empty threats, making violent threats, and multiple videos of him threatening creators. Again, controversy creates cash. And then Daniel Bishop says, finally, the extended family members of Christopher Watts have placed a $6 million lien on Chris Watts' house, keeping it from never selling. That's not actually true, Daniel. They can stick a lien on there all they want, but that would not prevent the house from selling at all. It doesn't mean they have to sell the house for $6 million. It means that for whatever they sell the house for, if there are any proceeds left at the closing table, then they're right in line to try to get their hands on it. Daniel's comment continues, however, they have stated they never want it or ever be in it again. Yet, one of the extended family members does multiple interviews in front of this house yearly when he could easily do this at his own house or his own state for that matter. Daniel asks, why is this house so important? I don't know, just my opinion. I think it has something to do with the toilet. Daniel asks, does this house still have clues? I'm thinking that the extended family members of Christopher Watts have failed to find. or covered them up? Example: who was the unknown female who entered into the Watts house after Chris Watts was arrested? How did they get away, and how did they know the alarm? We already know from NA's own statements, I guess, that the extended family members of Christopher Watts remembered the code for the garage and alarm. Just my opinion. I think that entire security system was probably plugged in elsewhere where people could monitor, watch, and maybe even talk, and maybe even record. I'm just saying, I think that's probably what was going on. And again, isn't that the video that Set the Record Straight put up that was attacked so viciously? And wasn't it right after that the detectives went to Wisconsin? Daniel says, trust me when I say this, the 35C option is definitely a possibility. And Christopher Watts' extended family members are aware of this. Chris will remain in prison for a while, but he will definitely get a reduction in his sentence if he ever decides to tell the truth and overcome his fear. And then Daniel closes with, quote, justice needs to be served, and it don't matter who's involved, whether it be a friend or a family member.